section presentation. Today's presentation is concentrated on the electrical safety and permitting requirements, why we need electrical inspections and permits. And today's presentation will be provided by our Chief Electrical Inspector, Mr. Jaime Reyes. Thank you.
Uh,
Go ahead, Jaime.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be your host in this summer series presentation, and I hope I can help you out to understand the permit and plan review processing of the electrical trade. My name is Jaime Reyes, and I'm the Chief Electrical Inspector of the City of Miami Beach. Okay, the index of our presentation will touch the following topics, the following items. Why is an electrical permit needed? The electrical permit, the electrical inspector scope of work, electrical permits that are exempt, electrical work that is exempt of permit in the City of Miami Beach, electrical permits that are exempt of plans, electrical the electrical permit that we have available online, an explanation of the interactive permit guide that we have available on the City of Miami Beach to help our customers and contractors to apply for permits. Most common issues found during the plan review processing, how to request and check, how to request inspection online and check for the inspector route, and the common issues found during the field inspection. This is basically the index of our presentation, and I have, as I told you before, I hope I help you out understanding this whole process. Why is an electrical permit needed? Well, the reason why we need an electrical permit is that the electrical permit will help to reduce the hazard of unsafe electrical installation, since improper electrical installation are one of the main causes of fire on public and private buildings, including residences. Once we understand why an electrical permit is needed, let's go ahead and define the scope of work of an electrical inspector. An electrical inspector is expected to develop inspection using visual techniques to ensure new electrical installations and alteration of electrical systems in public and private buildings follow the established codes, laws, and regulations. Example of electrical permits includes electrical installation on building and residences, fire pumps, electrical fire pumps, backup generators, photovoltaic and DC backup systems, EV chargers, both lift, access control, security cameras, pump and lift stations, AC and refrigeration systems, tool equipment, electrical signs, among others. Our next topic will be the electrical permit that is exempt of work. The electrical work that is exempt of permit on the City of Miami Beach. Now that we know why an electrical permit is needed, and we have defined the electrical inspector scope of work, we can check what is exempt of permit on a municipality. For commercial, there are three things exempt of permits: the replacement of luminaires, that not includes the modification of wiring or lots, maximum 2 features, that is exempt of permit. There's the replacement of electrical switches and receptacle, 15, 20 amp, 120 volts or less, maximum two devices, and the replacement of a satellite antenna of less than 39 inches. These are the three permits, the three permit extent of the three kind of work extent of permit on our municipality. Everything else need permits. For a single family, duplex and triplex, low voltage, excluding fire alarm permits, are exempt of it's an electrical work that is exempt of permit. Replacement of luminaires with no modification of load, maximum 2 features, is also exempt of permits. Replacement of electrical switches and receptacle 15, 20 volt, 15, 20 amps, 120 volts or less, maximum 2 devices, is also exempt of permit. And also exempt of permit for residential, single family, duplex and triplex, is the installation and replacement of satellite antenna of 39 inches or less of diameter. Now, even though there are exemptions for permits, it doesn't mean that work can be done by anybody. Any electrical work must be done by an electrical contractor, which is licensed or registered. Okay, that's the catch on this. So even though we have some exemption for the electrical work that could be done without permits, it doesn't exempt the person doing the work, doing the job, from having a license. Let's continue with permits that are exempt of plans. In this category, we got the safety check permit, and this permit can be applied by an owner or contractor because the safety check permit doesn't allow any work on it. If there is any work needed to be done on that property, then an electrical contractor will have to come up and apply for a permit. That's why the owner can apply for a safety check permit. Contractors also can apply for temporary construction without needing plans up to 200 amps. Contractors can apply to low voltage permit for commercial without plans, excluding access control, and fire alarm permits. Those permits all would require plans. Also, contractors can apply for replacement of meter can, service conductor, service raceway, without plans, not related with a fire event. So if there is some kind of damage on the conductor because of the usage of that conductor that is not related with a fire event, the contractor can replace, or there is damage on the meter can for any reason, excluding a fire event, the contractor can apply for a permit and replace the meter can or the service raceway without needing plans. Okay, let's continue with the electrical permits available online. To do this, as you see on the slide that is on your screen, you see the address of our website that will lead you to the online permitting resource center, where the electrical permit, when you can double check what permits are available online. We got the following permits available online: commercial generator, new and alteration. And these kind of permit, there are 2 permits in here, so I just put it as one, but there are 2 permits for commercial and single family. This allows the installation of new generator or the change out of an existing one on commercial and residential properties. The commercial PV system or EV chargers and the single-family residential PV system or EV charging allow new installation of photovoltaic systems or electrical vehicle charging. Fees waivers and expedite reviews are currently being offered for this application. We also offer the single-family new generator and alteration that will allow to install a new generator or change out the existing one. And we also offer sub permits for new and alteration on both commercial and single and residential. And one of the requirements for those sub permits is that there should be a master permit approved. Okay, so the intention of the sub permit is not providing any plans. It is just intended to act as a contractor to the master permits. Okay, that can do the requested the work that was approved of plans. So basically, those sub permits is for adding new subcontractors to the master permit. If the subcontractor need to submit any plans because of a change order or something different, that process must be done through a revision to the master permit. The sub permit are not intended to be in place in order to provide any plans to the master permit. Any plans that needs to be provided has to be done as a revision. We also provide building permit online application, and this application allows application for building and fire permits on categories not available on the previous one. So no documents or plans are needed to be loaded on this BOA application. The contractor or the customer just need to enter the information, and our staff will review it and generate a permit based on the information entered. There is a $50 fee, not refundable, processing fee that is credited, that will be credited to the actual permit. We also have the permit application dates that will allow customers to submit a permit renewal, extension, cancellation, or change of contract. You will need required to load a signed form. For renewal, extension, change of contractor, please use the permit application form. For cancellation, please use the cancellation form available in our website. General revisions is intended to submit any revision needed for the approved plans. In order to submit a revision, the plan must be in issue status. It means it must be approved. Let's continue with our interactive permit guide, which was developed to educate anyone applying for a permit through the permit process. By clicking in one of the items below, a user will hover over many elements of a property, and a pop-up box will appear allowing the customer to click on additional information, which will give a brief look at what applicants can expect as far as a permit requirement for plan review and inspection. Although this process does not cover all the permits, it does assist with most of the common types of permits issued by the building department. Our goal is to enhance the customer experience by preparing customers in advance of what is required to acquire a permit. Information state On the interactive permit guide does not guarantee permit issuance. All applications for permits must be reviewed and approved by the required city department. Well, now let's get into the most common comments found during plan review. We usually, during plan reviews, we need on the plans, we need the current version of the code, the scope of the electrical work that is being done on that specific permit, and the level of alteration. Because those requirements because our requirements will be based on that on this information. If a digital or electronic signature cannot be validated, plans cannot be approved. So digital and electronic signature is an important part of the plan that are submitted for review, because without this we can approve any plans. On the electrical trade, the point-to-point fault current calculation is very important. Every time we have a new service on an upgraded service, point-to-point fault current calculation must be provided. Point-to-point fault current calculation, you use the maximum available short circuit current provided by the utility to make sure that the fuse of the breaker used to protect this service or panel is being applied within its rating and the system performs as expected. Interrupt current ratings, also known as KAC, must match the point-to-point current calculation provided on plans. We also see a lot of problem with load calculation during plan review, and this item is really important because it allows us to know all the power that will be consumed by building or residence. Service conductors, feeders, and branch circuits selection is based on load calculation. The wire size must be selected using the available tables, okay, on the code, in order to make sure that the wire properly serve the equipment that is in place. Another common issue that we see during plan review, and not only during plan review, also during inspection, is related to the NEMA rating of the enclosure that we require here in the city of Miami Beach. And the NEMA rating of the enclosure that we require is based on the location they are installed. Miami Beach environment represents a challenge for this installation because of its corrosiveness feature. Minimum NEMA rating required by the National Electrical Code for location like Miami Beach is 3x. And we enforce the use of this NEMA rating depending on the location of the building. For us, all buildings facing the sea or canals must use this NEMA rating for all the electrical outdoor enclosures. Continuing with the comments, with the common comments that we see during plan review section, we also see comments related to the clearance of the panel boards. The panel boards and disconnect must have at least 3 feet of clearance in front of it. That could increase to 4 feet depending on the voltage condition. Okay. Receptacle must be spaced in such a way that no point measured horizontally along the floor of any wall is more than 6 feet. at least one switch controller, one controller lighting outlet must be installed on every habitable room, including kitchen and bathroom. That's another comment that we see a lot during plan review. We also see comments related to dedicated branch circuit that are required for kitchen, which include the two small appliance circuit, bathroom, garage, branch, oven, microwave, etc., etc. GFCI is required. Ground floor protection is required for all kitchen countertop outlets, dishwashers, and all outlets within 6 feet of a sink, and also exterior outlets. GFCI protection is required in all outlets located also at commercial kitchens. R4 protection is another item that we see a lot during plan review, and the code requires that any new, modified, or extended circuit in residential, excluding bathroom, garage, and outdoor outlets, be protected by an R4 by an R4 device. It could be an outlet, it could be a receptacle. Sorry, it could be a receptacle. It could be a brick. Another item that we see a lot during plan review is related to the service conductor feeding fire pumps. That must be encased in concrete or brick, as per the code. We also see a lot of comments related to generators, to the listing of those generators, especially for those used in commercial properties. That must be, beside listed, must be UL 2200 listed. Okay. Another common comment that we see a lot during plan review is related to the service outlet provided for CU units and for service on commercial locations. Okay, let's continue with the request of online inspection and the checking of the online route for inspector. Inspection can be requested, canceled, or scheduled using our customer service portal, and the website is on the slide. HTTP www.bshfl.gov City Hall building. Before calling for inspection, it's a good idea to check the job site requirement. Okay, to make sure you have all the documentation that is required in place before calling for an inspection, because that's one of the main causes of inspection fail once the inspection is requested. The inspection route can be checked using the permit number, and since that route is reordered during the time of 7:30 to 8:30, it is a good idea to check after 8:30 to make sure that you got the proper route for your inspection. Inspection route will show the order of inspection and the inspector name. In the sample screen, you can see your presentation. The green means that the inspection is completed and your inspection is the next one. Okay, well, we get to the point where we are going to check the common comments that we see on the field during when inspectors are doing the inspection. The first most common comment that we will check on the field is that inspection site is not ready for inspection because the work is still in progress. Another thing that we also see a lot on the field when we do inspection is that the approved plans, even though it is a requirement, are not always always in place, as well as the permit card. So those documents must be in place all the time when the contractor goes for inspection. Another common comment is that the installation does not match the plans, and this is especially important for life safety issue. For example, like a service and panel. If there is a minor thing like a line fixture or an outlet, we can do the inspection. We can request a revision for later on. But if we got a problem with a service or panel, we will stop the inspection and we will require a revision in order to proceed with a permit. Otherwise, we're gonna have a life safety issue, and that's something that is all we avoid. Okay. Another issue that we see a lot when doing inspection on the field is the one related to exceeding the approved scope of work. In that case, the same thing. We can go to a place and do an inspection that is not on the plan. So if there is something that is beyond the scope of work that was approved on the plans, we will stop the inspection and request a revision. And once that revision is approved, including the new areas that are being worked on that specific location, we can go back and do the inspection. But we also need whatever is to be inspected must be on the approved plans, the set of approved plans that the contractor have in place for inspection. The NEMA rating of enclosure is another thing that we see a lot on the field, and this is because the NEMA rating that is required for a corrosive environment is an stainless steel, and those enclosures are really expensive. So this is something that most of the time is a problem, especially when the contractor doesn't take a close look at what was approved on plans and give a bid, that then they have to make a change order to correct the price on the enclosure, especially the stainless steel enclosure that are really expensive. Another problem that we see a lot on the field is the one related to service feeders and branch circuit conductors that are undersized, and this is something that it is not allowed because it is a life safety issue. If you put more current than the one that a wire can allow, this create a hazard and a potential fire and a potential fire all the time because of the overload of the wire. Okay. We see a lot problem with the clearance for panels. Sometimes you put a panel in place and then before the inspection you put a counter, you put something in front of the panel, and this is something that is not allowed per the code. The panel must have at least 3 feet in front of it in order to safety and maintenance of that panel. Continuing with the common during inspection, we see one of the main issues we have on the field is the unused opening on the electrical panels that must be covered because it avoids to someone get electrocuted by introducing the fingers on this opening. So any openings on panels must be covered to avoid any major issue. panels also must have the panel schedule, because that's the only way that's the only way we have to troubleshoot, to disconnect a specific circuit on the building when we need to troubleshoot a problem with electricity. So panel always need to be labeled. The circuit needs to be labeled, because that's the only way we can do troubleshooting, and we can control whatever is connected or not on the building. Missing outlet per space, is another issue that we find a lot during inspection. For some reason, there are people that doesn't like outlets at kitchen islands. They put the outlet on the roof inspection, but for some reason, for an aesthetic reason, the owner decide to not to put that outlet on the final. That's something that we go a lot during inspection. Missing outlet per space. If you see on the picture that is on the slide, it will tell you, for example, for a kitchen, for example, what is required in terms of space for outlets. Okay. The ground fault and the R4 protection for any outlets that is in kitchen, for example, any countertop outlet is required to be ground fault and R4 protected, both protection. Okay, any outlet within 6 feet of a sink needs to be ground fault protected. This is a problem that we see a lot because of the cost of those protection, especially now that we are passing through a shortage with the electronics. We see a lot the missing ground the ground fault protection from pools, and this is something that, for obvious reason, it cannot be accepted. So that's one of the main causes also for the failed inspection of the field. Service conductor for fire pump, no encased in concrete. This is something that we see a lot in the field for fire pumps that are installed in our high-rises building. Yeah, commercial generator not listed as they should be. Basically, those are the most common comment that we see on the field during inspection. I don't know if you have any question, but our summer series electrical presentation ends in here. Any question? Okay. Well, thank you so much for assisting our presentation. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can get my contact information on the city website. And as I told you before, thank you so much for your participation.
I think CC had a question. I see a raised hand.
Okay, but she has she raised her hand, but has the microphone muted.
Hello.
Hi, Cici.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yes, hi. I thought I didn't want to interrupt. I thought I would be called. Is there any way to get the presentation in a PDF or something, or a PowerPoint because, I'm working, I'm driving, and I'm trying to pay attention, but it would be very useful to have this handy, especially for all my clients.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we can provide that. We can provide the presentation through PDF without any problem. Just
what we'll do is we record this presentation and we'll post it on the website, miamibeachfl.gov/building.
All right. Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, Cece.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for your participation again, and be free to contact me if you have any concern, any issue. As I always be here to help you out with anything I can. So if you have any issue, you can get my contact information through the city website, and it would be a pleasure for me to help you out with any problem you have. Thank you so much. And have a good
Thank
day.
you, everyone, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you all for attending. I'm glad you were able to come and enjoy the rest of your day.